Good morning.
How are
How
you?
I'm all right. How about you?
I'm okay. I'm doing okay. Um, I couldn't get Zoom to load this morning. It was like, wasn't there, and then it was, we have to send you a passcode, and I'm like, "Arr."
Yeah. Well, I went through my normal crap too. It
Yeah,
yeah, it here I am, right? It says I have no internet. I'm going, what do you mean I have no internet?
liar.
Yeah, and it's there. Yeah, exactly, liar. So, do you, I know this is being recorded, so I don't know if you feel comfortable. What's going on?
Completely fine. There's no worries at all.
Okay.
Every single test that they've run has come back fine. So I
Hmm.
think they've got one more test today, so he's still in the hospital. And I'm glad that they're testing everything because he needs to get it tested because he's had some problems in the past also. Related, unrelated, who knows? Anyway, so every test is fine, but he just started this other medication, and I said, "Did you tell the doctors that you started this, whatever it's called?" And he's like, "I couldn't remember the name." And I'm like, "Well, here's a picture, and let's find out what the side effects are." Because I mean, he just started it like a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
And sure enough, the side effects are exactly what happened to him. And what happened to him was he went to Disney World with a friend of his, and the morning he wasn't feeling very good. This is why they're keeping him. In the morning, he wasn't feeling very good, which is not like him. So he just was kind of, he just felt run down, really hot. And it was just like, 78 or something that day, which for us is not hot. You know what I mean? It's just a nice day.
Hmm.
And really sweaty. And so he just kind of rested for a little bit. And then he got there early. So his friend hooked up with him later. And then dug in the water, and his friend looked at him and was like, "You don't look very good." And he tossed him the bottle of water, which Greg kind of fumbled, which is not like him. But then when he was sitting down, when he went to go pick it up, he went down, like just completely went down. Again, not like him. So
Right.
he didn't like hit his head or anything. And he didn't pass out, but it messed with his vision. And it took him a while to kind of orient himself back. And so I sat there and they thought it was his blood pressure first because the pill affects his blood pressure, brings it down. And they thought his blood pressure is too low. So his friend looked up what to do when your blood pressure is too low. And what you do is you eat salt and fried food. So he went and got him a flipping corn dog and French fries. And I'm like, I swear to God, if I find out that my husband was saved by a corn dog, I am writing this up everywhere. Like I am telling that story because I'm on his
No,
butt
it's the
all
French
the
fries.
time.
It's the French fries.
I'm on his butt all the time. I'm like, stop eating so much fried food. I'm just like, ugh, right? Anyway, so they did that. And then he was like, you know what, I think I'm okay. And after a while, he got up and he's like, I think I'm just gonna go home now. I think I'm gonna go to the car. And he was really dizzy trying to get to the car. And there's a period of about 5 hours of between the first incident and the trying to walk to the car. So he went into the nurse's station at Disney World. Blood pressure fine, but heart rate really high. His heart rate runs on the high side anyway. And so they were talking to him and they're like, you need to go to ER. Like it's 5 hours of whatever it is you're messing with, and no temperature or anything like that. He just got a COVID shot a while ago. He doesn't have that. So I found out this Disney World will ambulance you for free pretty much anywhere you want to go, which sounds so cool, right? But I'm pretty sure they just don't want you dying on the property. That's what,
That's okay too. It's still
you know.
helping.
So they got him out to a hospital. I went down there and met up with them. I think he got there maybe 6 o'clock at night. I don't think we got into a room until like 2:30, I think. I mean, it was just brutally long. And then 3:30, finally he was settled in, and then they started running all the tests and everything. But all of his tests are fine. Like everything's fine. So when yesterday I found the medication, I sent it to him and he started doing the research on the side effects, and it's everything he had. It's dizzy, sweaty, weak, hot,
Vision.
um, vision. Yeah, yeah, the whole thing. It's all of what he had. And he just started it like a week ago. So I think that's probably it. But it's also good because they're doing everything to check the brain and the heart and the lungs. Like they're just massively going after and a lot after his heart. And that's a good thing for him to be checking it, for them to be checking on him anyway. So that's what we're doing. He should be coming home today at some point, which would be a really good thing. So
Well,
there you go. The
that's
husband.
good news. That's your good
Yeah,
news.
it's good news. It's good news.
Mhm.
Yeah, he went down and was dizzy and weak and everything, and now 3 flipping days Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, 3 flipping days in the hospital. As soon as we got into the room at 2:39, mind you, his car is at Disneyland, or now it's with a friend of his. I have my car, and at 2:30 in the morning, he goes, "I want to go home." I'm like, tough. And he's like, "I don't want to be here anymore." I'm like, there is not a dang thing I can do about it. We are 45 minutes away from the house, and you don't fit in my car. So you're screwed. You're staying, buddy. So anyway, that's my good news, is that my husband, I'm pretty sure, is fine.
Good.
Every test is coming back just fine. So that's a good thing. And I'm tired, but other than that, we're good. So let's hear you guys' good news.
I had good news all lined up, but I'm going blank because I was thinking about you. I went to the doctor yesterday too and did my physical and all that junk. And to my knowledge, everything is good. But I get to go on the medical trend tomorrow and probably do a biopsy.
Okay.
But I don't expect anything to be off. It just irritates me that I've got to do it at all. So
Well, it irritates him too, and it's probably for the better. So yeah.
yeah, that's what they tell me.
All right. What else you guys got?
Well, I had a little guy that is in his late 80s, early 90s that called me, and I had listed his land a long time ago, and then I left Waters and it didn't sell, and then he was going to build a barn dominium. Anyway, he ended up selling it for less than he should have, and is living in a hotel and wants me to find him a house he can buy for cash. So I've got some lined up for him to look at and see if I can get him in a better living situation this morning. And then I'm hoping, hope against hope. I've had like 3 showings on Branch Road, and I'm hoping that I get an offer today that's going to be valid. I had a investor offer that was terrible.
Right.
And so we said no to that. I was supposed to have another investor offer coming in, but I never saw it. I don't know if it came in or not. And so we're moving forward, and I've got my little virtual assistant, and I'm giving her things to post. And I've really emphasized whether, I need my database cleaned up by the end of the month. That's my goal. So I think she got off on that and wanted to do other things because that's not a fun task. But anyway, we're working on it.
I love it. When I first hired Ava, I'm like, the first 3 weeks of your life are going to be mind-numbingly boring. I'm very, very sorry. Get it done, and then we'll move forward, and it's true. It just is. So, all right, what else we guys got? Boys, have not heard from y'all.
I had a listing appointment yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah, so looks like I'll get it. The dad died. She came down to she's got everything done through probate, so she came down from Maryland to look at the property and to start getting some stuff out. It's a mobile home on like 10 acres of land, but he had a ton of stuff. So I'm gonna contact the auctioneer this morning and see about auctioning some stuff. He had a lot of cars, tractors, farm equipment.
Any of them good cars? I don't trust mine.
Well, he had a lot of older cars that he like project cars that he was messing with, and
Right.
so he's got they're all classic cars. He's even got one that's like a 40 something.
So my old Camaro, huh?
Yeah. So
There's a big market for that because it's very hard to find parts, especially if there's good looking chrome.
yeah.
Especially chrome.
So he's got 16 vehicles total,
Oh my Lord.
and she can only find about 6 of them. So it's 10 out there somewhere that other people have. So she went to the police department, filed a police report, reported them stolen.
Mhm.
So whenever they try to get them registered in their names, then they'll come up. But yeah, it's just a lot to be done. So she's looking at putting it on the market in spring, and we'll see how this goes.
What do you
Cool.
think it's worth?
I don't know. That's the problem. I'm thinking right now about 180. can't find any comps. It's like deep in the country, very, very rural. Nothing has sold around it. And he has a large garage that he built as well.
He's a car guy.
Yeah, just a ton of stuff in there, you know. So I think she'll make out good with the auction. I really do. I think
Yeah.
she'll come out really good auctioning that stuff off.
The guy that worked on my car, Craig, does old vehicle restoration.
Okay.
And it looks pretty amazing.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, he does some good stuff.
Yeah.
Don't know if he's
Go
a
ahead.
fit or not, but
My father-in-law's in that world, and I know that they source out. That's why I know that chrome is really hard. One of the vehicles they just had to strip it all because they couldn't get any. But they had a 59 Caddy that they had to strip all the chrome off because they could only get chrome on one side because you couldn't find it in the entire country.
Wow.
Yeah. So those old car guys, I mean, a lot of them are older. They're in their 70s and they're pushing into their 80s, and so it's dying off. But if the parts aren't rusted and they're clean, there's probably some money there, or could be some money there. So if
Yeah.
you connect in the right way. So cool. PF, what's your good news? Sunshine, what you got?
All right. My good news is that I just did my presentation for my other business on BNI, and I did pretty well. I showcased. So I try to live a compartmentalized life, but now I've been integrating everything because it's, I'm building synergistic skills. Those are the words.
Yeah,
That I can transfer from one situation to another, so I could be more like you, Gina, very facile, and I'm quick on the foot when it comes to like having a conversation with someone and finding a way to help them with something, which is also a character trait that I've seen in each of all of you guys here, and Catherine and Kay and Craig, Liz and Bree, who's not here today, but she probably will hear this recording. That's a character trait that I've been working on, because like, how can I be facile? Yes, something you guys don't know about me. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a CIA officer.
Oh,
And as among many, many things, like a ballet dancer, because that was pretty cool. What's that guy from Russia that defected in the 70s?
Mikhail, no, not Mikhail, Michael,
Brother
Baryshnikov.
Baryshnikov.
Yeah,
Thanks,
exactly.
Nick.
Because that was like back in the 70s, that was a big thing. It's like this famous, the best ballet dancer in the world defected to the Soviet Union. That was like, so anyways, ballet, and also an astronaut. I definitely wanted to be an astronaut, work for NASA. So in one of the things that I also watch a lot of spy movies and stuff. So somewhere along the way, I learned that good CIA officers are good at compartmentalizing their lives and putting things into boxes, so that in some of those boxes are unbreakable. So no matter what happens to them, their captors could not get inside those boxes, and they can unpack all the other boxes, and there are so many things going on that they would seem like they could provide enough information for the captors that they can protect those other boxes that are really, really secret. So anyways, so I lived a lot of my life. How do I compartmentalize everything? And now I'm like smooshing it all back together so I can have those transferable skills. What was the word I said? It was so brilliant. Now I forget that I said it 2 minutes ago.
PF,
But
we want
anyways.
to know about your secret other life.
yeah, you didn't tell
Exactly.
us
Yeah.
all of that.
So my other business is in health and wellness. I am a nutrimetrics consultant
Okay.
for a company called Nutrometrics, which is a subsidiary of Market America. You may or may have not heard of it. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I did my presentation on that today, and so I'm working on integrating all those skills. That's one of the reasons why I joined BNI is like, how do I become a better public speaker? How do I lose my thing? And how do I have a positive attitude?
Not-
Oh, Catherine is showing something.
It doesn't work.
Bring it up towards your face. Put it in front of your face.
Yeah.
Okay, so well, all right, you got something.
Something
Yeah.
to see ya.
All right. Well.
But
PF
anyway, so my
Okay.
presentation went pretty well.
Yeah,
And that's thanks to you guys, because every morning you ask me, what good news do I have? And you share good news with yourselves that are going on with you. And you share challenges, and you're always inspiring me to dig out those boxes that have the good news hidden in them. So
that
thank
is
you.
awesome. I love that you're integrating your life, and when you do so, you're gonna have this great extra benefit. Do you want to know what it is?
Time.
Yeah.
You get to leverage, because the thing that you're doing over here, also you get to use over here, and you get to use it over there. And for instance, I have my last, so I'm teaching the class today, the training today starts today, but I still have to get
Yes.
the class built. It's not built yet, the very last one. So, and
Okay.
it has to be built by end of day today, because I'm meeting
Get out
with
of it.
tomorrow. But I went through my old ALC. I used to do Keller Williams has a group of agents that are volunteer agents that lead the company. And in most offices, it's BS, but we figured out how to make it really work. It was a hard one for me to figure out how to work, but I used to lead the retreats for the 3 offices together. I would do these big 3-day long retreats. And I was going back through one of my old ALC ones because I was looking for something else, this little thing that I still can't find, whatever, I recreated it. But I went through one of those ALC retreats, and I'm like, bam, that's good. And it's the direction I wanted to go without knowing that that's what I wanted to go. And I pulled it out of there, and now I'm reworking it. But because I've done that, I get to use it for over here for this, rather than just keeping it in the box of that was for Keller Williams, or that was for my ALC, or that was that, so your life will get easier because you can reuse it. You can leverage it over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. See, you're reinforcing the lesson that I'm picking up with you guys. But, believe it or not, Catherine and Craig and Kay and Liz, I am learning those things from you every day, believe it or not.
I do think
Thank
that
you.
we all
Thank you,
grow
Gina.
from each other.
I do too. I think we grow in community. I think a community, I think you can grow so far on your own, but without something to push up against that sharpens your knife or rubs you the wrong way, or just makes you dang think, that's when you get true growth, is through community. Really long sustained growth, other viewpoints and everything. So cool beans, PF. Thank you for that. Liz, are you talkable?
Yes, I am. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Liz.
Hello. And PF, you inspire me also. This whole group inspires me because I am in the same place. I am integrating my lives and taking out everything out of their boxes and integrating what makes sense. And I'm doing it more in the real estate coaching space because I'm trying to launch out of my corporate space, which is causing me a lot of anxiety. So I've been making a lot of progress on that, and I've been feeling really good about that. It feels more natural to wear those roles. And so I'm hopeful that it will continue to propel me forward in what I'm trying to do with the businesses as we go. So thank you to this group and the team generally, because I wouldn't have gotten here without you guys.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Yeah, you're very welcome. Right back at you. PF, you reminded me of something too. This week I got back on the horse. Last Saturday, not this Saturday, but the Saturday before that, I competed, and I told you guys I fell flat on my face and I butchered it, and it was god awful. And it started this whole maelstrom of swirling negative, horrific thoughts. So last Saturday, this very last Saturday, I decided to go in, and I thought for sure that out of the speakers, somebody wouldn't show up because it was a holiday. And I was like, I'm just going to go in without any prep on any level, and I'm going to tell the story of that. And so I walked in and I'm like, hey, who's Toastmaster? And Sherry goes, I am. And I'm like, is there room for another speech? Like someone not show up? She goes, well, I got two, but sure, what do we need? And I'm like, me. And I said, if I can find an evaluator, 'cause you have to have an evaluator. If I can find an evaluator, can I talk? And she's like, sure, I'll put you on there. And then her husband walked by and I'm like, are you, and there was hardly anybody there to start with. I'm like, are you evaluating today? And he goes, yeah. And I'm like, will you evaluate too if you have to, if I can't find somebody else? And he's like, why? Because we try not to do dual roles. We try and make sure we spread everything out. And I'm like, I need to get back on the horse. He goes, absolutely. So another guy walked in that had only been there like 3 weeks, brand new guy. And he turned around, he goes, are you doing anything today? And the guy goes, no. And he goes, you're evaluating Gina. And they threw him a piece of paper, which basically had my name and the word faceplant on it. That's it. And he never heard the term faceplant. And so he's trying, you have to introduce, so he's trying to introduce me and he goes, so we're doing a speech for Gina, and Gina, it's on, I said leadership lessons, because the website's down, I don't know what the path is. And I couldn't get any paperwork, so the stupid website's down. And then he goes, and the title of her speech is, and he looked at me and I'm like, it's on the paper. And he goes, he'd never heard of it. He's like, faceplant? And I'm like, yep. So I got up and I did 7 minutes. I did no prep, no notes, no anything. I just told a story. And I ended up nailing it. It was really, really good. And I learned a huge lesson, a lot of huge lessons. But one of the lessons is there's 2 forms of art. There's writing a book or a story or writing where this specific word that has a dual meaning is introduced and then it's referenced. And at the end, you twist it out with the other meaning or something, but it's very, very specific. And it's edited and honed and tightened up and really worked and reworked and reworked. That's telling, that's writing a story. Telling a story is fluid because we're storytellers and it depends upon the audience and it will shift because I'm going to pull something that PF said and talked about integrating and how I'm going to integrate my life in, or I'm not going to talk at all about something because it doesn't pertain to the script. And it's just a story. That's all it is. So it was really simple and easy. So I got highest scores all the way down except for one thing, which is cool. And that one thing is I asked why like 3 times, but I didn't do why. I was like, why? And they were like, you really need to bring your hands up when you say why. I was like, cool beans, good feedback. So I highly encourage you to tell your stories. Our stories really are magical, and that is how we connect in with people, and how when we tell our stories, when we're open and vulnerable, and then we turn around and we ask them what are their stories, or even what is your story? Because everyone's got one. What is it? Why are you here? What did you learn? What makes you unique? What, where were you when a kid? What did you want to be when you were a kid? A ballerina astronaut. That is a great visual. And
on the moon.
Exactly. There's no gravity. You
I
can.
know, those
Dude.
twirls would be so awesome. Way better on your toes.
Yeah. So
Oh my God, I am so bad on my toes now. It's not even funny. That is so cool. Gina, was it recorded? Was your speech recorded?
Nope.
Oh,
I know, it's fine though. It was, I walked up and I said, are you guys okay with this? We just tell him, or do you guys have something we need to like dig into, because we can dig in.
yeah. Because that must be like, you stream of consciousness. It just pour out of the inside of you, completely cohesive,
Well,
one package.
It made sense. So thank you for that. Okay, so I said last week I face planted. I utterly face planted. I said I didn't literally face plant. Had I literally face planted, it probably would have hurt a lot less. So I walked through that and I talked about how it started this whole stream of stuff going on, and it really made me go through all kinds of I can never come back to this meeting again. I have to start a new group again. I cannot bring my face back up there again. And even though I've been working all this stuff with identity and self-worth, I started beating the hell out of myself, and I would step back and I would look at the situation and then I'd come right back into it again, into the emotions. And so on the way home, it's a long ride home. It's about an hour. Greg asked me, he goes, well, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I want to go home and I want to get changed. And I just want to distract. I need to distract, but I also need time and space away from what I've done to wrap my brain around what it was and get my thinking straight. and it's not there yet. But first I just want to like walk away from it. So I knew I could get myself some time. And the whole time in the back of my head is and I'm like stop.
Oh,
And
I know that song.
yes, and I'm swirling and then stop and the stupid song. And I'm like, now when I was a little girl, I was ADHD to the nth degree, still am. But I was raised in the generation where if you were a girl, you sat like a lady in your little skirt with your little Mary Janes and your little lace socks, and you sat like a lady and you sat perfectly still and you did not make noise and you did not fidget. And that is really hard for me. So what I would do is I would sing songs inside my head, and I would my teeth inside my head because nobody could see what I was doing, much to the chagrin of my dentist now. But that way I could move with nobody knowing. And so it was my hidden way of moving because movement was not allowed. You had to sit perfectly still. So I always have songs going in my head. And if I'm not talking with people or listening, there's probably a song playing up in there. And it kind of makes me crazy because it's like this earworm that just gets stuck sometimes. And it's like, for God's sakes, could you just shut up? And that's what was going on. I'm talking to Greg. I'm trying to get straight. I'm trying to get clear. And the whole time there's a song. In my 40s, I finally learned one day to go, what is this? And I stopped and I listened, which there's a huge key right there. It's just stopping and paying attention and asking what is going on so that you can kind of examine what it is that's playing up in here. And I realized that whatever, I get stuck on one sentence of a song, but if I just stop and play the next sentence in my head, it is exactly what I need to hear. It is exactly the lesson I need in my life, like over and over and over and over and over again. So I've learned to stop and actually listen to the song, to the words, instead of just going, stupid earworm, get out of my head. So the whole ride home, and I'm not doing it. I'm just swirling in the emotion, pulling out what happened, swirling back in the emotion. Why did that happen? Swirling and So I went to Renninger's big antique fair. It's about 5 minutes from my house, but there's a Starbucks in between. So really it's 10 minutes because we got to stop there first. Went to Renninger's, got some time and space, and then came home and the swirling started immediately in again. And I was like, oh my gosh. And finally I stopped. And I knew, I know who I am and what I'm about. And I know that that's just an incident. And all the stuff that's swirling in there is crap and garbage and half of my mom and God knows what else in there swirling. And I finally stopped. And I'm like, what song is playing in your head? Like, what is that? Who loves you, pretty baby? Who's always there to make it right? It's Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Come to me, baby, you'll see. And I suddenly realized that God loves me and my husband loves me, and it's okay. I'm a human being. I made a mistake and it's okay. And I relaxed and worked through what it was that happened and where it was and what I can do to make better and what my lessons are. And also, by the way, I don't sing in front of people. So, but if I want to come out of my comfort zone and I want to grow and I want to learn, and I'm going to keep on pushing past the boundaries of what my safety net is, I'm going to face plant and I will live. So there you
And
go.
excel.
Yep, thank you. And that's my story. And so there you go. That's what I just told a story. So I highly encourage you, PF, to tell stories.
Thank you. The
You're
good thing
welcome.
about this is being recorded, so we can hear that story again and again. That's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
But I'm also trying to remember what's the name of that song that.
Oh, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, who loves you? Who loves you, pretty baby? Who's gonna love you, mama? I think it's Who Loves You. Da 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 da. Come to
Who
me.
Loves You?
You'll see.
Yes, I thought it was by the Doobie Brothers. I don't know why.
You thought it was who?
The Doobie Brothers.
Oh, no.
Maybe not.
No,
It could
it's
be Pretty
definitely
Baby
Frankie
too.
Valli. It could be Pretty Baby. It's definitely Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, circa 70s, not circa 50s. So, yeah. They also did December 1963, Oh What a Night, right that same time frame. Remember that one? Kay does. Yep.
I remember
Yeah.
What a Night.
You remember that one too?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably more famous than the Who Loves You Pretty Baby, but it was probably the same album. It was right in that time frame.
Yeah. That was a cool song.
It was a fun song. It was a huge, it was like a summertime hit. I love my summertime hits, those big summertime songs. So, all right, y'all. Anything else anybody has before, since I dominated the shit out of this one, which, but
You
whatever.
needed to. And
Um,
besides that, you're tired. You need to not have to be nuts when you got to be nuts all the rest of the day, or at least part of it.
Actually, today I get it right. So I got an MRI later, but I get it right. So I'm cool. Kay, you were muted, darling. What you got? You're still muted. Words of wisdom or
No, I have no words of wisdom. The class that you're doing, is it Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2? I got some.
Yes, Tuesdays and Thursdays for the next 3 weeks. It starts today. It's 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. There will be homework. Because we're double timing it, the homework might be, we'll get through it. We'll just get through it. But it's only going to be the 6 courses and that's it. And I am really looking forward to this. I really, really am. And then my request back is 2 things. The thing that I love about Toastmasters and why I'm in Toastmasters is because they give you feedback and I need the feedback to get better. So I want honest, you will not hurt my feelings. The only way you will ever hurt my feelings is to be completely foul, god awful, horrific, and not be doing something out of love. And then it would be like, dang. And even then you might not hurt my feelings. I just might tell you, dang. So you can't hurt my feelings. So I want honest feedback and then, and honest. And then I also would like, and when it's all the way done, a review. And on the review, you can lie on that part. Those 2 things, because that way I can change and hone it with whatever needs to be changed and honed, which I'm like the 4th class that I wrote, I sent it up to my daughter. She's my first set of eyes to look at it. And she's like, Mom, this is all over the place and it's a mess. And I'm like, I know. And so I tore the whole thing down and rewrote it all. And now it's amazing. And I'm really grateful because it was a mess. It didn't flow. It didn't work. And now it does. Now it's like it steamrolls right where I needed to go. So that part's cool. So I really, really, really require that part of it.
I
And-
may be driving during part of this. I'll try not to.
Yeah, it's not gonna, it's you, there's gonna be there's a training manual. That's the words I'm trying to say.
I got that printed out.
Perfect. There's gonna be that. But you really need to be able to think, write, all that kind of stuff. Like even my husband, he goes, well, what if I get out of the hospital today? I'm like, from 3 till 5, I cannot pick you up. He goes, well, what am I supposed to do? I'm like,
Wait.
you park your butt downstairs in the lobby. I don't care. He goes, well, can't you just teach it anywhere? No, there is nothing wrong with you except for stupid medication. You're fine. You can keep your butt downstairs for 2 hours. I'm like, anyway.
Well, I'm gonna do my best. But Sarah rescheduled last week. And it's just before that time. So I'm gonna try to,
Came in late.
pardon, you will?
I'd rather you did that than try and do it driving. It's not gonna work.
Okay,
Flat out telling you it's not gonna work. I mean, the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe, because we're just kind of going over this is how the class is gonna lay out. But then after that, it's really think, process, right? Because we're dealing with, it's a class that has no answers because you guys have the answers. So it's really kind of a fun journey that we're going to be going on, which really excites me because I'd rather do that journey than I am the professional that knows everything. Because
are we
that's,
supposed to do anything ahead of time
nope,
other than print it off and have a book and a pen?
print it off and have a journal and a pen. That's it. And bring
Okay.
yourself. Yep, that's it.
Okay.
If you want to do something, we do need to do Strengths Finder.
Mhm.
So we'll need to do that, which is a book you need to get, Strengths with an S Finder, all one word. And then within like a week or so, you'll need to take that test. Do not read the book. The only time I'm going to tell you guys don't read the book. The book looks like this. Hang on.
I think I already have at some point.
Yes. Yes, that's the new version. That's what it looks like now. Mine's an older version. So
Yeah.
mine, I realize, is from 17 years ago, I think. And I probably should redo the test because my daughter was like, Mom, you're blah. And I'm like, no, I took the test. She goes, how long ago? Almost 20 years when it first came out. She's like, yeah, I might want to take that test again. But you'll need to have, well, I want to go through this at some point. So if you have it, PF, out of curiosity, what are yours?
Oh, I don't remember completely.
I don't remember either.
I'm tabbed. I clearly remember. my
I
hand.
have them
Yeah.
tabbed also. Let me see. If I can find, there we go. Number 1, ideation.
That's my 5th one. Go on.
Yeah. Number 5. Oh, you know what? I rewrote it in the spreadsheet profile for the
Cool.
team.
Cool.
So I have to look it up. But number 5 is individualization.
Okay.
Number 4, just flashback, is intellection.
Okay.
I'm all about the head. I guess. Let's see where. Number 2, restorative.
Oh, that health. Nice.
And number 3, strategic.
My strategic is 1. Okay, so what this is not a disc that, although some of it does line up a bit with that. This is skills that you have. So it's not your personality, it's your skills, it's how you think, it's your superpowers. That's what it is. So like PF's first one is ideation. So PF is really good around coming up with ideas and putting ideas together. And not everybody has billions of ideas. His last one, because I can talk to the 2 I know, strategic. Strategic is very much a, what is the exact proper move right now that gets me what I want most or what will help this situation most. And so it's being very, very strategic in how you think and what actions you do and tying that together. So it's kind of looking outside the box sometimes. So it's not your personality. It's your skills that you have. And this changed my life trajectory after I took this, because it told me what I knew, but I didn't know because I'd never put words around it. I knew that I was very good at what this told me. Basically, you're very, very good at seeing 20 years out in the future, 10 years out in the future, whatever it is. You can see when people are slightly off track, and you can see that if they say they want to go here, but they're just the slightest bit off track here, that actually ends up over here. So help people self-correct to go the direction that they need to be going. And that's a combination of the skills together. And they said, if you're not in leadership, get in front of leadership and make sure that people can hear your voice, because you can't tell when people are off track. I always knew that, but I didn't know it because it wasn't in words. So that's what this gave me. And that made me from that point forward to make sure I got in front of leadership or became into leadership. So it's cool. You'll like it. So we're not going to spend a ton of time on it, but I do want this because it's going to be part of what we're building out in our 6 weeks. So cool. So Kathy, find yours.
Yeah.
It's the reason why I don't read the book, in the very back of the book, there is a thing that you somehow, I don't know, you open this up, that's what it is. It can give you a code, and you need the new book, not a used book, because that code's only usable once. And then just go in, don't read the book, just go get that code, go to the computer, do the test, and then read the 5 things that pertain to you. And then later, if you want to read the rest of the book and the other strengths, great, go for it. But don't read the book, just get it, do the code, do the test, and then mark your 5 things and read those. And each strength is maybe a page and a half or something like that. And the test is maybe 5 or 10 minutes tops. It's a pretty short little test. So it won't take a ton of time. But there you go. That's one piece of homework you will have at some point. So, yep. Yeah.
During that time, I'll have to go and pick my son up from school. I mean, I can stay on Zoom, but I do have to go ahead and grab him and come back home.
Zip, zip.
Yep.
Zip, zip, and catch up.
Well, are you going to have it recorded for us then? Okay.
Record everything. And then what I'm gonna do is I've got a Trello board already built. Those sessions are going to go this particular group because because I need to also hone everything down and learn. So this particular set of sessions is going to go up on that Trello board. We'll get all y'all access into that Trello board. And then eventually what I think I would like to do, what I know I would like to do is have that Trello board and have different sections in it where we can use it like a mastermind also on toss up ideas and kind of what it is that we're working on. So I want it to be a living thing. Because have you guys ever taken a really good class and then after the class you're like, now what? Right?
Mhm.
Has that ever happened?
All the time.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate that. It's always this big, huge, like, I love you guys. And then what? You know, I have a special bond with Liz because I took a class with Liz and Liz and I got to spend a lot of time together in that class. And it's very, very cool. Well, I want to be able to continue having those things. Kay, you and I have the same stuff that we've done the same trainings and all that. I don't know. I like that. So that's why the Trello board, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do to really make that living and breathing. And then what I want to do for the other people that actually pay and how I bring them into this also. So, but anyway, yes, we'll have a Trello board. We'll have the recordings up there, each one individually broken down for this. And the book that exists now will go up on there, probably as copy number, like working copy 1 or something like that, each individual chapter. Eventually, I'll probably just have the whole entire thing, you know, because eventually people will get one book, you know, at the beginning of class, you'll get the whole entire book and they won't have to print it off or anything. But for now, that's what we're going to build out there for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Anything else, y'all? Okay, so now I get to say how very, very grateful I am to you guys, because one of the things that Napoleon Hill talks about when he interviewed through Andrew Carnegie, that Andrew Carnegie taught him for Think and Grow Rich, was the power of a mastermind group. And how if you really want to grow, you have a mastermind group. And that's what you guys are helping me with this book. You are my final mastermind. I had another set of eyes going over it with my daughter. It helped me hone it down, but you're my mastermind on this. And that is how you truly have greatness in your life, is when you have a mastermind. So thank you. All right, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. All right, I'm going to go crank out chapter 6 because I need to get that done. And I will see you all this afternoon at 2 or 3, depending upon where you are. Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Have a great day, everybody. God bless.
Yep, you too.
Bye.
Right.